Well, it's a Homebrew Wednesday again. It's been a busy 72 hours. I've had 2 days, 2.2 brews. And a small beer, which was the 3rd runnings off the batch barge of a Weizen I done. And on the OoVoO brew day, which was Sunday, I got an Ethernet lead installed all the way at the bottom of the garden. It works. It does cause a little bit of satellite delay, but it gets us live with a slight delay. So we had an OoVoO brew day. A bunch of us were up on OoVoO, brewed a beer. Paul Wicksteed from New Zealand came in the afternoon, which was his morning I think, and brewed one of his SJ beers. Harry was on there, Tom, Barry, a couple of other guys came in and out. So I'll show you that shortly. So I got one brew down, and I wanted to take full advantage of the healthy yeast crop on the top of the first brew by harvesting it and using it on a second brew, which you'll see coming up in the video. It worked quite quickly. By well, I finished this Tuesday. I finished 3 AM this morning. Went to bed 8 o'clock this morning. I got downstairs and she was then bubbling a few seconds apart. But yeah, sort of super ladled some yeast in. But I had an extra volume I sparged out on the mash tun and achieved around about 8-9ish litres, which I done in a separate pot with some of my own harvested hops. Boiled that up in the kitchen and laid out the 2 demijohns you'll see in the upcoming footage. Unless the video is too long, then I'll split the second brew day under a separate video, because my internet is, I know I always whinge about my internet, but it is fucking shit. Currently 0.33 megabits per second download, 0.07 upload. So it'll probably be Thursday before you watch this video, which is why last week's was a bit later than normal. But yeah, we haven't been without more weekly bargains. As you know, I've got the freezer set up for my hop storage, and I thought what I need is a board so I know what's in the freezer, rather than having to keep looking on Beersmith to see what I may or may not have and how much I may or may not have. So I've done a whiteboard with all my hops on and how many grams most of them are. Open packs. So I've got 450 of Citra on T90 pellet, 100 grams Hercules, 100 grams Pearl T90, 50 grams 2 packets of Whitbread Golden variety, 50 gram 2 packs North Down, blah de blah. So I know what I've got for formulating. The reason the list has increased is because today I had yet another delivery of hops. As if I didn't have enough already. Well, I did say I had spare shelf space. So, without trying to poison the dog, Pearl T90 pellets, Challenger T90, then we've got Citra bagged in 2 50-gram bags. Don't know why they do that, but it's from a brewery. They sell them on eBay, and basically they package the end of packets, as it were. Obviously, you know, breweries and wholesalers sell in 5 and 5.9 kilo bales, so obviously they end up with the dregs. So we got those as well. Sovereign T90 pellets, 100 grams. Well, it's all 100 grams. Just some are in 50s and packaged in 250s. So we've got North Down hops, 2 packs of 50, 2 packs of Fuggles, pellets again, and 2 packets the whitbread Goldens. So we then fill a little bit more of the void inside my freezer, just a freezer, not a fridge freezer. Right, get them out of the way. Now I must try one, that's got the penultimate to the Amp Rogerson series of beer males, which was the Kit Lager. It's got here 2 times 523 yeast, cool fermented. It obviously hasn't got a conditioning fridge like most of us, so I suppose he just done it in a cool place. This is the one where I did recap it because it was sizzling a little bit when I got it, so I've left it a fair while. I think the last one is the Black Sheep, so I've left it this long to see if there was a little bit of secondary fermentation going on. Carve it up. Sounds like there is a little bit. Definitely is. Looking good. Didn't pour that one very well. I was a bit aggressive. No, I got too much head. And often you hear a man complain about too much head. Oops. As you can see, as they say, 3 finger, 4 finger, doesn't matter. It depends on how you pull. Quite bitter actually. Anyway, while we let this calm down, I'll cut to our American wheat beer, Citra wheat beer, OoVoO Brew Day, and it is enough time left in the video that it will be the Weizen and the small beer on day 2. Well, that is the Ethernet cable tester telling me that all 8 connections are working. So we have a local area connection in the shed. Well, time to get some ingredients for brew day. Yeah, it's in here somewhere. Time for the daily grind. Well, the brew shed is getting christened. We have mashed in. And it should be 65, but we're 66. The temperature's holding, which is better. We've blocked up the little piece on here where it tends to be open and let all heat out rather quick. And we're on the cast with Tom, Dave, Jonah's on here at the minute, and Harry, and myself. But just now going to rig up another camera, and of course, have a brew.
I'll put it downstairs to the fucking cock come out and smack me right through And at the end of the night, I flipped over a box, turned all the lights, took the computer down.
Well, we've only lost about half a degree over 57 minutes so far. We're a 60-minute mash. Should have been 65 degrees, but we're a little bit higher, give or take, the accuracy of the thermometer. So once that's done, we'll run off and do a batch barge. Right, we're just doing the first jug of all offing. Back into the batch stand. I haven't got any foil or any barbecue trays. We're just doing a gentle pour back into the grain bed. Ready for the next jug. Look at that. Now do you ask if I can hold the camera and turn the tap and hold the jug? I must have 3 hands. Haha. Look at that baby run clear. Well, it looks like the extractor fan's working. It smells friggin' awesome out here. Right, well, we're still casting on OoVoO. I've just about remembered the Irish moss. Now I'm going to go in with the 26 grams of citra, which is on the flame out, just about. That return line on a wort chiller is rather warm, and I'm getting rather wasted, and the warning light is coming on. Anyway, the only problem we've had so far is the wort chiller hose that I did use is not long enough for the run back up to the garden, so I've had to use the discharge hose, which is this one. No difference really, it's just bloody longer. So we're going to bung that one up on the other hose pipe, the garden hose pipe, just to run through, and the discharge is just out the back door. Because I've been buggering about doing other things, I haven't had chance to empty the mash tun, so I was going to use the discharge water to rinse the mash tun out, so we quickly better do that. Well, I don't know whether you can see in there, but we've got plenty of protein floating about. We've managed to do a little bit of melting on the thermometer, probe wire. And of course, changing the hoses over meant the one non-return valve was causing a bit of pressure build up, so we had to take that off. And now the dogs are eating the spent grain. We haven't finished washing and rinsing out yet. They keep fighting, so I have to stop them from killing one another. And the brew kettle sprung a leak on the tap. Right, well, bit of a fraught day with things going on that weren't quite planned to go to schedule, but then they very rarely do they? Anyway, we sorted out the issue with the wort chiller. The only problem is my tea from the Chinese takeaway turned up at the same time as chilling down to that crucial point where you want to get it into the fermenting bin. Anyway, it's in the house. It needs 2 to 4 degrees more drop. So I've left it in the FV. Hopefully, normally I chill down, drop into the fermenting bin and pitch straight from there, but not today. Note to self, don't get your bloody tea when you're about to finish your brew. So I've just cleaned everything. I've got to sort out the big brew kettle and just nip up the washer. You can see it leaks. I didn't notice the leak prior to chilling, but target volume into the kettle was 27.5 litres. Post boil should have been 23. We were well below that to start with, not calibrating the pot or anything to go in, but I kept sparging till 10-15, and it's good enough. I got a batch. I'm not too worried. It's a little bit higher ABV than anticipated, but then the anticipated gravity would be based on half a kilo less of grains than I've put in, so not that far. I think it's 1060 pitching gravity, so yeah, 5.5–6% beer, which is more or less what it was aimed at, and I think it was 5.9, something like that. We put a few more grains in the original recipe. So yeah, the guys are still casting their bits. I'm messing about, trying to clean the last of the stuff down and get everything out the way. But the extractor fan worked. We haven't got a pooling condensation upon the top of the polythene, so that worked. I haven't died of carbon monoxide poisoning, and the polythene didn't melt. Which I didn't expect it to either. So the only issue with the kettle was the leak from the seal. And the Burko doesn't hold enough water to do all your sparging, which I knew anyway, which is why I want to clean the second one up until I sort something else out. So all in all, I thought it was a little bit of aggravation. They usually are. They're not, you know, they never run quite according to plan. But anyway, it worked. We've got, I think, 18 litres of American wheat beer. Although I've built the shed, having a little bit of outside space is very useful as well to put the fermenting bin you're going to use. A bucket to clean the water chiller ready to put in your brew. Things like that, yeah. So in an ideal world, yes, the shed needs to be twice the size so you can have a nice big sink and do all your clean up inside. You can have a tap to hook up and you haven't got to run 50 feet of hose down the garden for your water chiller. But, you know, you have to make do with what you got, as I keep saying. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow or Monday I'll do another one. So I want to get 2 brews down because I'm running out of drinkable homebrew. I've got some other bits here, but I'm not enjoying them. So I might pour some of them away. I've also got to sort through a plethora of homebrew bowls that I've got that I don't need. So if anyone local to me, I know I think there's only 2 people that casually watch the channel that are near Kings Lynn in Norfolk. If you need any homebrew bowls, give me a shout. Well, quite a day, or 2, or 3. And a long day today, because it's bed at 3, up at 8, or up at 7:30 down here for 8. The beer was crystal clear. I've just poured a little extra in, just caught some of the yeast. But yeah, it was well settled out, no clouding up from the yeast floating through. Been a few minutes. Got nice firm white cap, tight bubbles. No problem with the carbonation, even though the bottle cap leaked a little bit. It was a nucleated glass, but there's still plenty of bubbles swirling up through there, feeding that head. I think that there's a bit of lacing as well, so I think that's a good pint. That's going to stay there. Not there's some bitterness there. More almost a malty sweetness, not quite on the back note. Not a lot of traditional lager hoppy flavours that you sort of associate. But yeah, it's quite a nice smooth pint. There's a nice mouthfeel with it, more so than you get with a conventional lager. More body to it. Certainly not thin. So all in all, jolly good actually. Enjoy proceeding down this. There's a bit of a twang to it, but I don't know. I think that's on the bitterness. Or possibly some of the yeast that's gone in the bottle now, but not a bad twang. But, yeah, it's long old brewing session. That'll make up for lost time, I guess. So we'll crack through some of the grounds. Got the brews on. The next task will be the bottlings. We haven't got the keg in yet, and I don't want to put one of these in the little pressure keg, because I'm hoping to hold on to the citra wheat for the next couple of months. Hopefully, if it lasts that long. I've got a feeling it won't do. I've got a feeling it might be my go-to beer. Anyway, talking to going to, I'm sure you've got more better channels to watch than mine. So, I will pass you off and on to Brew 2 Bland to watch more Homebrew Wednesdays and wish you all well. Good drinking and happy brewing. Catch you next week.